it's really important that we're constantly asking ourselves, what is the next? What does the next look like? What does the next feel like? What is the next version of myself, and what do I want to experience in my life? Hey guys, it's Nija. Welcome back. It is so great to be sitting down and recording an episode right now. I am actually doing this as a favor to my future self, and it kind of loops into what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm really grateful that you guys are with me and listening, and I'm going to jump right into it. So I got this download the other day, and I'll read it to you, and then we will elaborate as we do, okay? And the download that I received was, there's no limit to your expansion. There's no limit to your expansion. See the next level and the next level and then the next level. And then when you see it, work your way backwards. Ask your future self the steps to do next. So you guys know I really love being a little bit quantum. There's always slightly a little spiritual aspect to what we're talking about. And to me, that feels the most like me. And so I often talk about on my platforms this idea of tapping into your future self, tapping into the next version of yourself and what that looks like. And the reason why I feel like it's so significant to tap into the next version of yourself is because all timelines can exist simultaneously. Just because you're not experiencing yourself living on a particular timeline does not mean that you cannot tap into that timeline. Okay, so again, it's a little bit quantum, a little bit woo-woo. So if it's not your cup of tea, it's all good. But I love the idea of knowing that you can tap into your next best self. You can tap into your next best version. You may not currently be where you desire to be in life, but you can always interact with that version of yourself that you want to be. Now, I have lots of content on my channel and on my platform about tapping into your next version, how to know what you want next, blah, blah, blah. Why is this so important? You need to know what you want next, because if you don't know what you want next in life, you have nothing to strive for, you have nothing to aim for, and that is why goals are so important. But even more than just having a goal, I think it's incredibly important to know who you desire to be next. I will link some of the episodes where I'm talking about how to tap into your next version, because I feel like it's all relevant. This actually is all being triggered because last night I was having a conversation with my partner, and this happens often. Not the conversations with my partner, that happens too, but I often get to a place where so you guys know we're cyclical beings. We always go through these cycles. And I notice about myself, I go through a cycle of going really hard at like a goal or a dream or an aspiration that I have, and then I might achieve it, and then I'm like, okay, I'm tired, I'm a little burnt out, I want to coast for a little bit. And I think that's perfectly fine and okay. And I think it's very healthy for us to go through these cycles, especially because in society they would make you think that you're supposed to go, push yourself to the limit literally every single day, and hustle culture is a surefire way to be burned out, and it's also a surefire way to not enjoy your life. So yes, it's important to go really hard when you have a goal in mind, or if there's something that you're trying to achieve or accomplish, but understand that at what cost is that to your happiness, right? Like I believe that we should be enjoying our life along the journey to the life that we want, or the goal that we're trying to achieve. Like, it's all important, right? You don't just say, I'm going to enjoy my life when I get there. No, you're going to enjoy your life every single day, every single step until you get there. Okay. So this is why I don't necessarily believe in hustle culture. However, I personally do go through these cycles where I'm working really hard, being very intentional about what I want to achieve. And then I make a little bit of progress and I'm like, okay, I want to coast for a little bit. So I think it's really important to have this healthy kind of cycle or balance. But going back to this conversation I was having with my partner last night, about starting to feel slightly unfulfilled and feeling like I desire to put a little bit more action and effort into what I'm trying to achieve next. And the really great thing about the universe, about life, is that you can only go so long without achieving your goals. The universe is never going to let you off the hook. I'll say it like that. If there is a version of yourself that you're supposed to be in this lifetime, if there is a pinnacle place that you're supposed to reach, people you're supposed to touch, a life that you're supposed to have in this lifetime, the nagging feeling of dissatisfaction, the fact that you haven't gotten there, it's never going to leave you. It's like the law of, I believe it's the law of entropy, right? If you're not continuously working on something to make it better, things left untouched, things left to themselves will start to decay, start to collapse. So you can coast for as long as you would like to, but after a while you will start to feel that nagging sensation of, I'm supposed to do more, I'm supposed to be more, what am I achieving or accomplishing in my life right now? Like, I just feel like there's supposed to be more for me, right? And this happens because we are constantly having this collaboration with God, with the universe, with the divine, with source, whatever you want to call it. And so God doesn't let us, and I don't want to trigger anybody, so again, whatever you call it, God, source, energy, spirit, whoever, right? The higher power, whatever, is not going to let you just get too far off the path. Right? So again, you can never miss the train. You can miss the train if you decide to see the intuitive urges of what your soul wants from you and you say, I'm not going to do it. But you will always feel the nagging sensation. You will always feel the dissatisfaction of, I could be doing more. What's the next step? Who's the next version? Who am I supposed to be next? Okay. So that is kind of the good thing. Like, it doesn't feel great to feel uncomfortable not being who we're supposed to be, but also it's great to feel the discomfort and the dissatisfaction because that is the catalyst to your growth and evolution and change. So I notice within myself, I'll go through these periods of like, okay, I could be doing more now. What's next? And then when I feel that, I'm like, okay, well, what's the game plan to make it happen, right? And so again, back to the download that I received, there is no limit to your expansion. See the next level and the next level and the next level. I believe it is time to start tapping into what does next look like for you. And this is something that I've been asking myself. Well, Nija, what does next look like for you? Because clearly you feel the dissatisfaction of being where you are or where you have been, right? Or you feel like, okay, I've achieved this and now it's ready for something next. What is the next? So it's really important that we're constantly asking ourselves, what is the next? What does the next look like? What does the next feel like? What is the next version of myself and what do I want to experience in my life? The great thing about us as human beings is, again, this idea of expansion and growth, and that's ultimately what we're here for. And the most exciting thing, or the most exciting piece of this, and this is like where the magic is, and again, I don't understand how people, I get it. I think religion has really turned people off from the magic of like God or creation. Like, I use the terms interchangeably, but that's literally what we're here to do and experience, tap into this magic of expansion, because God, the divine source, is creating through us. And that is why I always say, like, our desires are divine. The things that we want, the things that have been placed on our heart that we say we want. We say we want this lavish lifestyle. We say we want this house. We say we want this car. We say we want this partner. We say we want this dream vacation. Well, guess what? The universe wants it for us too, because all of our desires are divine. They come from the divine, therefore they are divine, and they're meant for us to create through our beings. That is why we are physical beings, because yes, we're spiritual beings, but we're having a human experience because literally, and this is the most exciting thing about everything, we are here in these physical vessels to manifest the etheric or the thoughts, the ideas into the physical. Otherwise, we wouldn't need bodies. We would just exist on a, like etheric cosmic plane where people don't need to be flesh, right? They're just like entities or spirits walking around. But the fun thing about being on earth is we are here to bring the mental plane into the physical. Like, manifestation is literally everything here on the earth plane. And so again, this idea of expansion, who do I want to be next? What do I want to experience next? That is what we're here for. And everything else that you experience along the way, like the matrix, having to pay bills, having to clock in, all that other stuff, is literally, fight me about this statement, it's less important. It's less significant. I mean, like, we choose to play the matrix game, but ultimately what is most important is the growth and expansion. Now, growth and expansion doesn't always look like, getting the house, getting the car. It's not always the physical manifestations, even though, again, that is why we are here, for the physical manifestations, to be God consciousness personified in our bodies. But more than that, it's about the evolution and growth of the soul, right? And so, yes, the soul gets to evolve and grow through the physical manifestations. For example, through you having the desire of wanting to be a homeowner, through you manifesting being a homeowner, yes, that is a physical manifestation, but think about all the ways the soul gets to evolve and expand through owning that asset, right? Or think about, you say you want to be an entrepreneur or a business owner. That could be very physical, like, oh, I'm doing it because I want to be a millionaire, I want to make a lot of money. Okay, that's very physical in 3D. But think about all of the ways the soul gets to expand and grow as a result of that intention. So yes, it is about the physical manifestations, but also the physical manifestations are also simultaneously cultivating the soul's expansion, again, which is why we are here. So plugging back into this idea of there is no limit to your expansion, and remembering that God, the divine source, wants what you want. So start to see your desires as divine and be excited that in having the desire and knowing that you want to bring something from the mental plane into the physical, you are simultaneously expanding the soul, expanding the spirit. And that is pretty exciting. This is like a grand and massive co-collaboration with the universe that we get to have through our magical physical beings, which I find very fun. So again, there is no expansion without knowing what we desire to do next, what we desire to have next. I feel like this is where manifestation 101 begins. It is knowing what you want to bring into your reality. What do you want to experience in your reality? I feel like a lot of people don't ask themselves, what do I want to experience? Instead, they just let life happen to them instead of being an intentional creator. You guys know we are all about being intentional creators on this platform, and I am aware, and I want everyone to be aware, that we are here to create through these physical vessels. That's why we are physical beings. And that is also why we have the power and authority to turn thoughts and ideas into physical things. Like, yes, we're so magical and powerful. That just gets me so excited. And so it is important to know, what is it that you want next? Who is it that you want to be next? I want you guys to start thinking about who you want to be next. And I did this video as a solid to my future self, because my future self was like, Nija, I'm trying to be this person and you're not doing the things that I would be doing. So how am I ever going to, come to fruition? How am I ever going to enter your reality? This is my future self talking to me, by the way. Like, Nija, this is who I want to be. How am I ever going to be this version? How am I ever going to be this in the flesh if you don't do these steps, if you don't do these things? I'm like, okay, future self, I get it. Like, let's start doing what the future self does. So again, more advice for you guys. Like, once you see the vision of your more expanded self, of who you want to be next, I believe your future self is asking you to start adopting the actions that the future self does, so that you can start integrating who you want to be into who you currently are. This is how the expansion happens. So when you hear your future self say, hey, this is what I'm doing on my timeline, I'm never going to get to experience that on your timeline if you don't get with the program. If that makes sense to you guys. Again, I get it, it's quantum, but it's important to have conversations not only with your present self, but with your future self. You can also have conversations with your past self. And again, it's just like what does all of that mean? I don't know. We'll have to dive into that a little bit later, but have those conversations with your future self. Understand what your future self wants to experience and ask your future self, what did they do to get into the lifestyle that they have, and start working your way backwards. I believe that is what the download is all about. There is no limit to your expansion. See the next level and the next level and the next level. So if you want to tap into your next dream self, see the next version of yourself and start working your way backwards. I love you guys. Bye.